The pipes are calling. Hi, this is Peri, Lyons, New York City celebrity psychic. From glen to glen and down the mountainside. I think we all know that that's the song most associated with St. Patrick's Day, which is tomorrow. The summer's gone and all the leaves are falling. Oh, Danny boy, 'tis you must go and I must bide. It's also about the fact that no one stays on earth forever, even the people we love most. But come me back when autumn's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. And that line is about the fact that when the people we love so much leave us, we'll meet them again. Snow in the field beyond the snow. For I'll be here in summer or in shadow, which means in life or death. Oh, Danny boy, my Danny boy, sorry, I love you so. In this show, we talk a lot about the afterlife. And we talk about bereavement. And this week, I'm my mother transitioned. She's 91, and I was by her side holding her hand for a week. And the thing is that the transition is nothing to be scared of. You know, my biggest fear was always that I'd lose her. But we know. We don't like to think about it. And I am going to be taking calls, so don't turn off the show at this point. But I discovered that, for one thing, we do get greeted by people when we pass. For 3 days, my mother, who is a real pragmatist and a real, well, darling, I don't believe in life after death, but was holding up her arms and welcoming people and talking to them. Her mother, her father, my dad was her true love of 60 years. I've never seen anything like it. And I was reading her Shakespearean sonnets, which are her favorite, and the room filled with light. And she was in a different place. And the passing of somebody I love has always been my biggest fear. But now that I was there for literally 7 days, 24 hours a day, I saw that we're just going into another room. And that in the same way that I tell those of you who call in and you miss your loved ones, that they're with you, I can feel my mother, and not just because she bloody hit me in the back of the head 5 times last night. I was sitting up in bed. Nobody behind me. I was sitting up in bed like, I don't know, watching a movie, and I got, which was, she never hit me, but she would tap me on the head if I needed to think a little. And I'm like, oh, I guess you are here. She always used to say that we had a bond that would outlive everything else and was eternal. And we all have that bond with those we love. And, I've experienced with you guys, my beautiful, beautiful audiences and watchers, the people who grace this show with your presence. You're amazing. But what I wanted to tell you is that it's real. love is real. Love doesn't die. Personality doesn't die. And you might, I'm finding I'm making some life changes. But I guess that's what I wanted. I just wanted to say that all of that stuff we talk about, it's real. Even if you're an atheist or an agnostic. I have friends who are great scientists, but who disapprove of what I do because they say it can't be proven. But neither can love and neither can music that affects you. And I learned that there's nothing to fear, that they are greeted by those they love, and that they're still with us. And I know that. I don't even believe it. I know it in the same way that I know, like, that's a couch. And you can't see it. Trust me, it's a couch. Okay. Um, so what I'd like to offer today is if anybody has recently lost somebody they love and they want to be in touch with them. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I just realized I left my tarot cards upstairs. I'm a little verklempt. Only been a couple of days, but I would love to hear you. So, if there's something, it doesn't have to be a bereavement. If there's something, if there's a girl or a boy or a non-binary person that you're longing for, if there's a question about work and where your luck lies, call me. That's what I'm here for. So here's what I feel. I feel that there's going to be an amazing turnaround this week. I mean, I'm probably insanely optimistic. I'm half Ukrainian, by the way. My dad's folks were from a shtetl in the Ukraine called Przemysl, Pzyczyzyml. They were so poor they couldn't afford vowels. So I think that I think that people are going to, sometimes people do step back from war. Sometimes the right person is elected. Sometimes people choose joy. Sometimes people choose peace. It happens. And I feel very strongly that that's going to happen with the stuff that's going on with us now. It's going to be a full moon on Friday, which is also my birthday. So feel free to send a card or an email. Full moon in Virgo. So on Friday, you're going to be feeling. Virgo is a very misunderstood sign. People think Virgo is about like being all uptight and like making sure that the books are lined up on the table as you pass it, or being. It's not. Virgo is about purity and idealism and wanting things to be the way they should be. And I think the full moon in Virgo is giving me hope. I also think that the full moon in Virgo, for all of you out there, is going to be a time when you really feel like able to get in touch with who you really are, your purest self. You're also going to be able to get a lot of productive work done. I'm currently painting all the picture frames in my house, which actually you're welcome to come over and do for me if you feel like working on Friday. It is my birthday. Did Dave, handsome and talented producer, did I just see the name Chelsea come up? Oh, how nice. I love that name. Woke up, it was a Chelsea morning. So I like to bond with people by asking when their birthday is. So when's your birthday? You don't have to tell me the year.
What did you say?
When is your birthday?
August 19th, 1993.
I don't know why I knew you were going to say that. That's a really good day. Really good day. A lot of good friends on that birthday. And, okay. And what's on your mind, my darling? How can I help?
I was just wanting to know about a connection that I've had for the past 8 months, and if it's going anywhere.
Interesting. Your connections in the past have sometimes not worked out because you feel that people distance themselves from you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Because I would take the full moon to sit and meditate about maybe if it's that you distance yourself a little. I can tell that you're very strong. I can also tell that you're a very private person. And I think maybe vulnerability can be, well, God, it's hard for all of us.
Yeah.
I'd pick people in the past who would just get mad at me when I'd be vulnerable. I like this person. I think there's a real connection there. And yeah, I think there's a real connection. I don't have to tell you that. My advice to you would be that that you let yourself be more vulnerable than you're comfortable with being. I don't mean necessarily like sobbing your heart out. I mean, that's fine too. Been doing that all week. But I mean, you are very reserved. You're very private. And I think you have a fear of being judged. And I'd like to tell you that that fear is completely unjustified. There's nothing about you that you can show to people that they won't enjoy, appreciate, and like. That suddenly sounds a little dirtier than I meant it, but you know what I mean. Is that something is that something that lands for you that you might? You're also, take it from one control freak to another. You like being in charge of stuff.
What do you say?
And
okay.
What? I said, from one control freak to another. I think it's uncomfortable for you to share your feelings with somebody or take risks because you're not in control. Maybe I'm just projecting, and I don't mean that. I mean, you're very organized. You're incredibly competent, but I think it's more comfortable for people like us to just be in charge and be in control than it is to say to somebody, I don't know how you feel about me, but I really care about you. Or especially if they're just sitting next to me in the subway and I don't know them. Joke.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're really competent, and I think planning some more activities together too would be good. Stuff that you do together, so you don't have to always. I mean, there's nothing wrong with talking, but I mean, now that we can go to movies together, go to a movie or go horseback riding, or if you don't ride and you get injured, I'd like to say now that I'm not legally responsible for that. But I think this person has a lot of energy, but they're a little passive. And I think that it would be good for you to be both proactive and vulnerable. So you can do both of the things that I think you and I have in common. I like to get stuff done, and and I like to sort of take charge. But if you can do that, but do it with vulnerability. How does that sound?
That sounds good, yeah.
I like this person. I think they have real integrity. Is that true?
What do you say?
I'm sorry. I couldn't find my earphones. Forgive me. Better next week. I said, I like the person you're with. I think this person has real integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's something that you have, I can just tell you have bone deep integrity. And also you can't lie, which is really funny. It's like your voice goes up an octave. You've got some sort of, what they call in poker, you've got some sort of tell if you try to tell.
I do
tell
that.
a lie. See, I don't think you do anymore. I get hives. My voice goes up an octave and I get big red blotches. So I gave up. Um, no, I think that's one of the things that bonds you. And I also think that this person you're extremely empathetic, but you haven't had an easy time of it. So you've had to learn to put up a wall, which is what I'm talking about. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said, that's me, not you. I said, I think the other thing that you and this person bond over is, I think you're both very empathetic.
hmm
And I think you've not had an easy life. You haven't. Also, there was about a 10-year stretch there when you got betrayed. There was a lot of unfairness going on. That cycle is over for you. It's your time now. I mean, it's going to get
I've been going through a problem for the past 10 years.
Yeah. You were going through a problem for the past 10 years. Yes, you were. And it wasn't fair. In a way, there was an enormous amount of betrayal, but you did it. And you did what you needed to do. You did it beautifully. You didn't whine because you're not a whiner. And I'm very proud of you. And that cycle's over. And this new connection is part of that. Because you had to have your guard up. You had to have a wall up during that 10-year period. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So this bond you have with this person is you relearning trust and trusting yourself, which you can totally do. Are you changing jobs this year? I think is it okay? Do you mind being my only caller today? Otherwise, I can just sit here and sing Danny Boy. What?
I'm actually, I was a stay-at-home mom for a while, and I'm starting real estate school.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm getting. Good. Okay. Oh, are you going to be good at that? If you live in Maryland, come sell my house. I don't. But two things that I think the real estate school is going to be good for you in a lot of ways. I think people trust you, and also you're very precise. You're a very good learner. Is that correct?
Good what?
You're a very good learner. You're very precise.
Yeah.
You do things right. You like to do things right, and it's funny because August 19th, it's like it's Leo, but there's a lot of Virgo in there. I was madly in love with somebody August 19th, but that whole Virgo thing, he's so cute. There's a lot of Virgo in your chart, so you're very good at following through. You didn't used to be, but you're very good at it now. But also people trust you, and people like you, but you're not a people pleaser. You don't come across as insincere. You come across as somebody, people like you more and more the more they get to know you. I don't trust people it's not that you're not charming, because you are, but you're very likable, but you have a good character. And I think this is a field that you're going to surprise the heck out of yourself with, because I think in a year and a half, you're going to go from like, what am I doing, to suddenly selling really, really big, expensive places. You also have a natural feel for, how do I put this, space or place. You can sense how the energy goes in a room. You can, is that true? Yeah.
Yeah, I can pick up on people.
I'm going to make a suggestion. I'm a New Yorker, so I'm going to make a suggestion you didn't ask for, because that's what we do. I would also, if you can take a course in feng shui, which is the Chinese art of sort of working with the energy in a space, I think that might be a good sort of
Mhm.
side selling point for you. Not that you're going to need it, but I think you'd enjoy
Okay.
it because it. Hmm? Yeah, I would just, even if it's just like a small course, I think A, you'd find it really interesting. And I think B, it would be a great, like, hey, you're going to be a salesperson, sales tool. I was the personal
Yeah.
shopper at Louis Vuitton flagship store for a while. I know about sales. So, but you're really going to be good at this. Wow. Um, well, we have 4 minutes. Unless you want to hear me sing Danny Boy again, ask me another question.
I don't know.
Oh, that's okay.
um,
It's like being asked what your favorite movie is. So I'll let you go, my
mhm.
darling. And when somebody asks me what my favorite movie is, I'm like, I have never seen a movie in my entire life, and
I
I
know.
just can't
Yeah, that
really.
is how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I
Or
appreciate
people
it.
ask me my name, but that's just
Yeah.
that's all right. Well, it was great seeing you. I'm going to talk for a couple of minutes after you're gone, but I'm just really glad. I'm really glad you called, and I'm very excited about your success and your relationship. It's going to be long term. Take some emotional risks. You're worth it. All right. Bye, sweetie.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure. So, guys, with this full moon, I've got a big birthday coming up, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. But I like to make intentions on my birthday and think about what I've learned in the last year. Um, and I've learned some good stuff. And if it's okay, I'll share it with you. If you start snoring, I'll be able to hear it. But um, I've learned to be kind, but not at my own expense. I've learned that unless people really, really make an effort, that people don't change. The way they act is who they are. I've learned that there is no underneath. And what I mean by that is somebody would say to me, well, that person is not very nice to you. And I'd be like, well, but underneath. And I learned that there is no underneath. People are what we do. We are our actions. It's that simple. If you're, what else have I learned? I've learned that love is eternal, and that the people we love are just on the other side of a door. I've learned that daydreaming is great, but learning to work and work hard is the best thing you can do for yourself and others. I don't mean, I've also learned that what do I mean by working hard? Just doing the work. I have one friend who's been writing the same magazine article for 3 years, and I just said, give me that. And he handed it to me, and I handed it back, and it was like, there, you can publish that. You can also give me a couple $100, by the way. But whatever, so we're going to end with a quote from Goethe. Whatever you do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius and power and magic in it. I love you, my cherished ducklings. I'll see you next week.